Hey everybody, how are you? I hope you had a good start of the week and that the sound works out. We are live for this 15 already, 50th episode of Channel Live. And I was thinking that today we continue to work on our calendar app or Doodle clone, and that we use the time to have a look to two things. One thing's being detecting when a session expires so that we can provide the user at least an acceptable user experience. And then that we try to derive the same user ID or principal for two different domains. Because, yeah, as you know. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna go to our project and start the local environment. Hi. Right, so we are live. And I will open Rastrover since it supports Node web technologies as well. And here, just checking if the signing still works. All right. So you know when you sign up, the user get a session, and that session lists for a certain amount of time. I don't remember exactly what's the default on Juno. Default. All right. On Juno, the default is 4 hours. So if you don't do anything, that session is valid for 4 hours. But once it's finished, if your user come back to the application, then there is a call that is made and it will end in error because the session is not valid anymore. And what's important to know is that there is no mechanism to renew a session. If you want your user to have a new session, you need to log them out and then they need to sign in again. So if you don't detect if that session is over, you cannot sign out and then you cannot kind of force your user to sign again. So what we want to do here is we want to make this happen. So as a first step, maybe what we can do is we try to set up like a short session so that I show you what's happened if the session is dead. So let's try to figure. Okay, so here we have our sign in. So in our sign in, we're gonna have like a max time to leave. I'm gonna set up that's 4 hours, right? So what we're gonna do, that's 1 hour. Okay, so that's 1 minute. And we're gonna make let's say 20 seconds, or let's just say, yeah, 20 seconds. So if I sign out here, and yeah, that's gonna be long. Let's make 10 seconds. So if I sign in now, once I'm in, I got a delegation that lists 10 seconds. So if we wait a few seconds, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm counting really well in English, isn't it? So I'm already signed out because I guess I've already implemented what I want to show you. Is that? Of course. So let's assume you have not implemented what I want to show you today. Okay. So again, we wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And if I refresh now, ah, that's not my day. In satellite somewhere else. No, delete that. And here I will start with a fresh screen. And we're gonna even put like 5 seconds so that there's one wait. If no, I try to do something because you know, like the time is elapsed. Let's say I want to try to create an event because the delegation is not valid anymore. I get an error, right? You see here, split blah blah blah, delegation has expired. And either I display the error to the user or yeah, kind of I need to inform the user that they need to sign it up again. So of course here if I refresh my screen, then the user has to sign in, but I kind of have to detect the state and inform the user about this. So what you can do to do that is in Juno, there is here you see session expiration. So Juno provides you tools that take care of checking every second in the background in a web worker if the session is expired or not. So what you can do is in your package JSON, yeah, I already copied that, but you take this line here and you use it as a post install. So what it does is it does a copy of what's in build. Here you see you're gonna get a build web worker and you copy that to your static folder. So if I run it here, this will run when you install libraries, right? And here you see this runs and then it adds that worker that is already rebundled for you in your static folder. And then when you initialize your satellites, what you're gonna do is you tell that you want to support these features by saying, okay, for the workers, I want the authentication checker. And at this point, it doesn't do much, or at least you don't notice it in the sense that you're just gonna sign in, and then when you sign in, you have that job that will start doing stuff for you. Like I guess that here, I'm not sure if we see it here. Worker, you see here, you have the worker that is mounted and it starts doing stuff for you. But what we want to achieve is we want to be able to catch the information of the front end so that we can inform our user. So what we're gonna do is it's already implemented, so that's why it works out. we can have an event listener now in our UI. So you see here, I have like a Svelte window, which is the same thing as doing document.add event listener, right? And I listen to this event. And what I do is I just catch the sign out. So here I do a console log, but what we can do is, for example, I think we have alerts, right? Where do I use it? Yes, let's do that. What we're gonna do is do I have error. So let's call error, and we're gonna do your session is expired. Please log in again. So let's try that. Sign in, and then after 5 seconds or something like that, I should be sign out, and I have the message. Okay? So if I draw you what's happening, that's our app, right? And what it does, it's in a web worker, every, let's say, every second, I think, it checks if the delegation is alive. So every second it checks, and when it's not checks, it cleans up that delegation so that the user can be signed out, and it also throws an event that you can catch in your front end with and here that way you can do handle sign out gracefully. Okay, and yeah, so that's basically it for the sign out. You can find all the documentation in session expiration, and if I'm not wrong, I think that all the templates comes with this function active per default. If I have a look here, I'm not sure if I have the, you see, yeah, they come with that function per default. All right, so that was for signing out. Okay, so in my case, I will, what we gonna do? I will keep this and I will revert that part since I don't want to have like 5 seconds, but here we're gonna just push that. It's like toast on sign out. Okay. Now the second part that I wanted to discuss today is the derivation origin or alternative origin. It's kind of like the same same thing. Mm, where do we begin? Let me think. Maybe we can start by deploying our application in a in production, right? So we have a satellite live, and we have a domain that is configured. It's this one, right? And is it initialized in your Juno config? Let me check. Yes, we are good. So, I'm gonna be fancy. You know, like we had a look the other day about those pre-config, so we can configure that. I think we did that last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember. So here I should be able to do a pre-deploy, right? And in that pre-deploy, I can give npm run build. Nice. Okay. Bump config types. And here we're gonna build. Whoop. We don't have a build yet, but we have an end-to-end test, and the end-to-end test, end-to-end CI. Well, it doesn't matter. Back, end-to-end CI, end-to-end CI. Okay, we should be fine, I guess. Okay. Deploy. Here it's build on pre-deploy. Yeah, that's a bit. Okay, so we're gonna set up a GitHub action to deploy the project. That way, I don't have to open my password manager to deploy locally. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna follow the documentation. All right, we go to Juno console, we select our satellite, that's already done. On the satellite, we navigate to settings, and we click add a controller, and we generate a new controller with read write, which is nice. New controller read write because we don't want an admin. Okay, and then we're gonna go to our repo and add a secret. So I go to my repo and I go to the secrets, and I add a new repository secrets, which gonna be this one. Yeah, that's not safe because of course I'm live streaming the secret, but I can remove it at some point, and it's just like a demo again here. Okay, and now that we have the secrets, I can create a script to deploy. So we're gonna add a deploy YAML file here. Yes, and we're gonna copy this, deploy to Juno, branch main. Okay, attack, setup node 20. By the way, we should soon jump to 22 because now 22 is LTS. We don't need this since we have a pre-deploy, and this should do the things. Okay. Deploy to Juno. Okay, let's see what's happening. Okay, we're gonna wait for the deployment, and then I'm gonna sign in. And we're gonna have a look on the users that are generated, and then we're gonna try to adapt this. Nice. Of course, it's the first deploy, so it takes a bit longer. Okay, almost there. Yeah, can have a look at something interesting afterwards. Okay, all right. So we are good with that. If I go back to my satellites, if I don't have user yet, or I have a user because we make some test or whatever, but if I sign in now on the canister ID, oh, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. Here you see you want to connect to this canister. So if I sign in, unless I already signed in once, I should get a new user in the authentication, right? So if we go here now, I should have a refresh button, but we should have two. Yes, we have two. Now, if I go to the custom domain that we have set up, and I sign in with the same anchor, because the domain is tied to where I sign in, I will have another user, even though I have signed in with the same identity. So what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna set up an additional custom domain so that when we sign in on that new custom domain, we get the same principle here, okay? So what we do is we go to hosting and we add a new custom domain with that picker.xyz. So you see, we create one. Here we have https://picker.xyz. So we add the www subdomain, right? If I continue, then here I will be asked by Juno if I want to use that domain as main domain for all the sign-in, or if I want to continue to use that original domain. So yeah, the phrasing is maybe a bit cumbersome. I'm not going to pull request to improve the UX, but basically you answer yes if you want to use that one, or no, I want to keep the original one. So here we're gonna keep the original one. Then I got the DNS entries, and if everything is fine, I did those entries yesterday, so I hope it's populated and that we're gonna be able to set up that domain on the fly. It's a bit of risk. It's always with live coding, isn't it? All right. So we have the pending order. And oh, you see, this one is not aligned. I should fix the alignment here. That should be nice. So we're gonna we talk with the boundary node to have the certificate. And while it's doing that, I can explain you on the spec what's this. So if you go to internetcomputer.org, you should find something called alternative frontend origin here. Is that well explained? So that's not what I was looking for. Let's see, internet specification. Yes. So basically, you have two things. You have that's, for example, my dapp on datepicker.xyz. You have the same dapp on www.datepicker.xyz, but maybe you have the same dapp on yolo.com. Doesn't matter. It's all your app. That's all your domain. And what you want to do is when you sign in with internet identity, here, we always want to sign in using datepicker.xyz, regardless which domain is used. Okay? And this means that I will list the same person as it will if you are using the derivation. So, if I'm not wrong, this is what we call the derivation origin, and those are the alternative front-end origin. So, it's still running here. What you can do to achieve this is your satellite, smart contract, canister needs to expose a file called true alternative origin, and because you are using Juno and everything is automated, if we have a look, this file here is generated for you when we were in the console and you said no, we still want to use date yzik xpicker blah blah blah. Then it was did all the configuration, and among those it generated that JSON file. And you see here in that in that JSON file you have alternative origin, which is date picker www, or the canister ID. Yeah, we can make it here so that it's a bit more clear, like this, right? Okay, so that when you sign up in internet identity will ping your satellite and search if this and this is present in that file. And if your canister answer with an update call and say, yeah, that is, I think is an update call, not even sure. No, it's certificate call, is secure, then you are allowed to sign in. So if now we open this in another browser, so you see I'm on www, right? When I sign in with 2, nothing will happen. It's still www, okay? So, because there is like a small bit of code that we need to add. But just to show you, if I sign in here, I'm gonna have another authentication because it's still using www, right? So here, now I should have 4 at some point, I guess. Yeah, you see. So what we still need to do is now we need to, in this call here, we need to say, hey, sign me in with datepicker.xyz. And that is done on the front-end side, okay? So what we gonna do? First of all, I think it's not yet documented. It's on to-do. If anyone wants to contribute with a pull request, you are most welcome. But here's what we're gonna do. So sign in. Hey, login. Yes. Do I have that in a repo? I think I might have it in, not sure, in those examples. Let me check. Do we have like sign in? Not really. Okay, so we're gonna do it. So what we need to do is here in this sign in, we're gonna need to provide that derivation origin. Okay, so basically what we need to do is if we are, the logic is if we are on www.datepicker.xyz, then we want datepicker.xyz, basically. But I think we're just gonna hard code it right now for the demo purpose, if I'm not wrong. So let's try that. Derivation origin. Because of course that doesn't work then if I want to run my things locally, but just as a test. And then we can have a look to the code of Roisy, for example, to have like something a bit more polished. So here there should be a deploy. That should have been cached. Okay, so installing dependency, blah blah blah. All right, so I'm on datepicker XYZ. I sign in. Yeah, of course. Of course. I forgot to put the HTTPS, I guess. Let's do it again. Fix. Is it specified in the spec? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, anyway. Deploy should be there again. Already? Oh, it's fast. No. No, yeah. The build is done. It's deploying. All right, so let's try again. They have a small hash, so all right. So you see when I sign in here to connect, but I'm on www. So let me first, I'm not on www, all right? I sign out. I'm not on www and I'm gonna do a sign in. And because we said that did picker XYZ, I got that. So I'm gonna use that test identity here. So I'm gonna use another identity. So I should have another user in any case. All right. So now if I go here, it was 5, I think. Yes, you see, I got a new user. Okay. Yes. Now I gonna sign. I even gonna add like a data so that we see that we're gonna have the same data if the login work. So here on my dashboard, I have an event. So if I sign out now, sign in again. Oh, sorry. Go to www and sign in again. You see now I have to connect to www blah blah blah. But here, if I open this box, I'm gonna see choose the internet that connects to www and date picker XYZ. The spacing is a bit weird, but yeah. So if I pick this one, you see, I have the same entry. And if I refresh here, I don't have a new user. It's the same user. So that means that now, regardless if I sign in on www, on where did I add the schema? Here. Regardless if I sign here, here, or here, I always get the same user ID or principal for the same identity. And yeah, let's make that code a bit more more polished. So since I use the same code everywhere, so I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel, right? So again, that's some things that can be automated. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stall those two pieces of code, which at some point I can integrate in our library. So in utils, we're gonna call it, sorry. We're gonna call it port utils. Okay. And we're gonna need this. Okay. So we're gonna we have constant? Yes. So alternative origin is a list, I guess. I guess it's a list. So alternative origins gonna be our, what did we compare? We compare origin. So we compare URL origin that contains HTTPS. Okay. So we have HTTPS www blah blah blah, and we also have this one, which is, that's an array. What is it? Comma separated list. like this. Yeah, but it's a bit dumb. I can use an array here. Sorry. Okay. And then as an alternative origin, we have this one, derivation origin. Okay. So here that's an array of string and so forth. So non-alternative origin is this. We can even remove that. And as derivation origin, that's this one. So I don't think we're gonna need this one. And here is alternative origin like this. Okay. Read. What we also don't want to, we don't want to run this when we are local. So I think that we are, and prod, is that prod? Is it called the svelte constant? I don't remember. Oh. SvelteKit vitesse prod vite and right. Okay. So this, I guess. So we prod. All right. So in our constant, we're gonna add like export const prod equals this, right? And here we're gonna add prod. Okay. And then final piece. Sorry. So if we go to our login, instead of doing this, we gonna do that. So what it does when there is the sign in, goes here and you say, okay, is it an alternative origin? Is the origin of the current window vv or is it 0? And is it prod? If yes, then it adds the derivation origin variable with its picker with it. That way, for example, if no, is it still running? No. If I test locally, maybe, right? You see here, it doesn't use, it still use local, so we are fine. Okay. Great. So let's deploy this. So here I'm gonna make a pull request. So super. Boom. Oh. Right. That sounds too bad. And yeah, maybe we can automate this in some form, like in the Juno JavaScript library. Maybe we can expose to sign in, like allowing the consumer to pass an array of the alternative origin and accept also the origin. But to some extension, that would be even more beautiful if that would come straight from the configuration. You know that here in my oh no, sorry, here in our project that we would be able to say, hey, so that's my satellite, and I don't know, like here that we have derivation, origin, blah blah blah, and that can configure that at this level. That would be maybe even fancy. Yeah, let's see. Anyway, uh, the test are running. I'm gonna skip it, and we're gonna redeploy. Speaking of redeploying, that's interesting. Okay, so here is a small tips, not really related to what we did today, except that to some extension we have deployed and we have seen that every time we deploy, it redeploys all the JavaScript files, and that's because currently my Svelte bundle is not really reproducible. Each time I'm gonna build, I'm gonna have new chunks. And that's not really the spirit here, because we want to only publish what really changes. And this happens because in Svelte, every time you build, it injects a timestamp in every JavaScript file. So, of course, then every time you build, you get a new timestamp. And if you don't want that, I think it's on the... Exactly. What you can do is in the kit, in the Svelte configuration, Svelte configuration, in the kit, you can specify a version field, and for that version, instead of having the timestamp, you can override that with some constant value. And because you still want to update any potential JavaScript file when you do a new version, what the things I generally do is I read the JSON file when I build. So I do that in all my apps. So I read the JSON file, the package JSON here, and then in that package JSON, I'm searching for the version. That way, instead of using a timestamp, I use that version as an identifier for the bundle. And that way, it will generate less. At least it becomes reproducible on my machine, in the sense that if I don't make any change, the JavaScript file will always have the same hash. Maybe I can show you that quickly. Let's see, without this, I build locally. Right. So I've built locally. You see, I have alert, store, bnkk, blah, blah, blah. If I build again, yeah, of course, it's a demo effect. Yeah. Anyway. I'm not sure what it does. You see here there is like a chunk that changed. Oh, which one is it? This one. You see entry is bklq, and here if I compile again, then this one changed, but I did not change any. anything in my code, right? So now if I add the version, so it will change once, of course. So we have entry something, BPZ, but then if I build again, I should still have the same entry. You see, nothing changed anymore. It still generates the same hash because we did not change anything in the code. All right, so that was for the small tips. Okay, in the meantime, it is being deployed, and we can just check that our final implementation here. I got an error. Yeah, of course, because I did not extracted the backend, but so did picker XYZ, we are good. Should have an entry. I'm on www now. Okay. Ah, nice. So www and no, it did not pick it up. All right, so I've made a mistake in my code. Let's check this again. So we said tac, sign in. Is it the prod that does not work? No, come on. Slash at the end. Just in, yeah. Just rookie mistakes. You see here, if I do, let's just deploy fix URL without slash. If I have a look at the origin, it's without slash, and here are the slash. So when it came here, it said, does it include? And it was 9. No, it doesn't include it because there is a slash, I guess. So you see, it's already a bit nicer. It just a bit less JavaScript files were uploaded. It's nice. So let's try again. I'm on www, right? So no, you see I have it again. And I should have the event that we created before, right? We are good. And if I logged in with not www, voilà, super. So that's it for today. What we have learned? We have learned on how to set up that web worker that checks every second if the delegation is expired and send us an event so that we can gracefully sign out our user to ask them to sign again. And we have set up an alternative front-end origin or derivation origin that allows our user to sign in with the same ID on various domain. I think it's limited, by the way, to 10, I think, or 8 or 10 different custom domain. And we also have quickly had a look on how to set up reproducible kind of, yes, reproducible build for SvelteKit. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed and enjoy your week. Bye bye, see you next time.